Today's video is on the quadratic formula. What we're going to do is talk about what the formula means, how to plug in the numbers, how to simplify solutions, and then next time what we're going to do is in class talk about what's called the discriminant and how to identify types of solutions using that formula. Here's the formula on the top left, negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. What we have to do is write the equation in standard form first, then substitute in a, b, and c values, and then simplify. Let's go to the back where we have some harder examples and imaginary and irrational solutions. Number 7, x squared, and I'm going to move everything back over, minus 4x minus 9 equals 0. So you have to put your quadratic in standard form before labeling a, b, and c. Here a is 1, b is negative 4, and c is negative 9. I'm going to plug everything into the quadratic formula. Negative b makes this a positive 4, plus minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times c. And that's all over 2 times a. I'm going to simplify inside the radical first. So 4 plus minus square root 16. And then this part right here, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, times negative 9 makes a positive 36, all over 2. Adding this together in the radical, we get 4 plus minus the square root 16 plus 36 is 52, all over 2. I'm going to simplify the square root of 52, which is 4 times 13. I can write this as 4 plus minus 2 square root 13 all over 2. And then you can do this simplification process where each of the 3 numbers besides the radical can be simplified. So we're going to divide all of them by 2 and get 2 plus minus, instead of writing 1, I'm just going to leave a blank, square root 13, and then 1 on the bottom I don't have to write either. So this is a try-simplification process where each of the numbers outside the radical can be simplified. So you don't worry about this number inside, you just worry about the numbers on the outside. Let's go down to number 9. I'm going to write number 9 in standard form first. So we have negative 8x squared, moving over the 4 to get plus 3 equals 0. Here a is negative 8. There is no b, so we write 0. And then c, we write the 3. Writing our formula out, negative b. So there is no b, so I'm just going to write 0 plus minus square root b squared, which is 0 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. Simplifying underneath the square root, we get plus minus square root. 0 squared is just 0. So I'm going to do negative 4 times negative 8 times 3. Negative 4 times 8 is 32 times 3 is 96. All over negative 16. Simplifying the square root of 96. 96 is actually 16 times 6. So we can simplify that to plus minus 4 square root 6 all over negative 16. These two numbers on the outside of the square root could be simplified. So we're going to write that, dividing both by 2, we're going to write that as plus minus 2 square root 6 divided by, dividing the bottom by 2, you get negative 8. And continuing to divide by 2, you could have actually just divided this by 4 and been smarter than me to get 1 on the top. You don't even have to write 1 on the top. So it's just going to be plus minus square root 6, and the bottom becomes negative 4. Let's do one more. This one has an imaginary solution, solving for this. So this one's already in standard form. A is negative 3, B is 8, and C is negative 7. Let's plug them into the quadratic formula. Negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. Let's simplify underneath the square root to get negative 8 plus minus square root 8 squared 64. Multiplying all these together, we get negative 4 times negative 3 times negative 7 is a negative 84. And that's all divided by negative 6. Then doing inside the square root, we get negative 8 plus minus square root of negative 20 divided by negative 6. Simplifying the square root of negative 20, we get negative 4 times 5, or 4 times 5. You do need to take the I on the outside. So we're going to have negative 8 plus minus 2I square root 5. 2I square root 5 came from how you simplify the square root of negative 20, all divided by negative 6. Then we can do that try-simplification style. We can simplify negative 8, 2, and negative 6, all the numbers on the outside of the radical, dividing them all by their GCF, which is 2. So we get negative 4 plus minus I square root 5, all divided by negative 3. So you can write your final answer like this, or you can split up your fraction. Negative 4 divided by negative 3 makes 4 over 3, plus minus, and then you can split it up like that. I know some people like writing their solution as two different fractions, the real and the imaginary part, to make the whole complex number, but either or is satisfactory on a quiz or test. Let me know what questions you have on using the quadratic formula. Again, it's plugging in the numbers, writing them in standard form, simplifying your radical, whether it's irrational, perfect, or imaginary, and then don't forget the plus minus. See everyone next time. Have a great night.